Hi. You know, I've been tracking something for the last couple of days. They had this piece about how shortly before September 11th, there were people that, especially people in the financial industry, people in the banking industry, certain kinds of people that deal with metrics and numbers and algorithms that started noticing a lot of numerical references coming up at very important times consistently. They kept dinging them, and it made them concerned because it was as if there was, numerically speaking, a sort of portention of September 11th happening. Now, the thing about September 11th is that September 11th is the day after September 10th. And for certain kinds of incorporated entities, September 10th is a major, major reporting day, right? Think about all that reporting data that has to come in at the deadline. And it gets posted before the end of the day on September 10th. But what happens when markets open the next day after all of that data posts by the deadline? That's just one thing that some people think about. There's also the fact that the year before, the state of Texas had implemented all of these major, major changes to the Texas Insurance Code. I mean, some of which we're talking changes that were made from laws that went all the way back to the original Texas Insurance Commission, the Texas Insurance Code from like the 1950s, sometimes even before. An entire segment of the Texas Insurance Code got eliminated. And other kinds of insurance paradigms ended up being made present. And then there was that information about how several people that were allegedly involved in actual intelligence. I'm not talking about somebody that was political opposition and got a hold of information and or created an analysis criticizing somebody that considered themselves to be the candidate of concern or had already acquired political office, so they were able to create their own insurance policy using our lives by creating bad legislation to cover their ass. Talking actual people that knew that they were going into an intelligence role, understood that they were in intelligence, had access to certain kinds of data, understood that there were jurisdictional considerations, and there were at least two different major, major scenarios that were outlined. One specifically involving passenger airliners crashing into a building like the World Trade Center or maybe the Pentagon. And then another one where they were actually identifying that there was a specific set of educational facilities that had people that looked like they may be engaged in some sort of suspicious activity. Psh, nobody acted on that intelligence effectively in order to prevent anything. Is that because what happened is people stole those intelligence reports and they laundered them through an abusive executive office down to Texas, so their little insurance actuators or actuarials could go over what they liked, and then they could actually underwrite a massive, massive terrorist attack, so that then they could implement what they wanted to with the terrorist risk insurance program. See, right now we're coming up on 19 years, the 19-year anniversary of the implementation of the terrorist risk insurance program. And a lot of things that previously used to be included in the terrorist risk insurance program, which was $1 trillion federal program, have since been privatized and have been isolated and deselected from the rubric of terrorism risk and assigned as something else like sexual harassment insurance or cyber insurance. All the things that those actually speak to were previously covered under $1 trillion insurance program, specifically put into effect after September 11th, right? Why do I bring this up? House Resolution 4043, Vested Employee Pension Benefit Protection Act. It's not passed. It has not gone into effect, but it had its 1 year anniversary in terms of when it was proposed. on July 25th, 2019. And for the last week, somebody's really, really, really hoping to make their liquidity quotient on August 4th. They have a specific class of life insurance and pension benefits in their crosshairs. That would be 10 days after the 1 year anniversary of this bill. And for months, ever since coronavirus became the predominant factor in our lives, so many people's livelihoods and whether or not they get to vest is dependent upon, among other things, their sexual performance. Now, for some reason, I never get to vest. Is it because they literally pegged a 43 to a 43 to a 43 to a 43 to a 4.3 cent? Yes, it is. I don't know what to do. I'm a bad girl. I'm not going to perform, and I could give a fuck if all of you vest, right? But the thing is that this vesting thing is just an illusion as well. Because last November, when they passed an Emergency Appropriations Act that was very, very, very off the grid, it wasn't discussed very significantly. Around the time they were trying to impeach Donald Trump, they also passed an Emergency Appropriations Act. And I believe that what it did is it set up a process by which to divert and launder stuff from the Department of Energy through other areas, specifically using Social Security and Medicare. Why do I keep trying? I don't know. I don't know why I keep trying. I'm really, really hoping you do not get your political assassination on August 4th. I really, really hope you don't. See, I know who you wanted. And the truth of the matter is if I had to choose, I choose the person you're actually rooting for, right? Your little competitive, like, bitchmanship, where you torture me and torture me and torture me, and you throw these people that I'm supposed to somehow be connected to, but never get to actually talk to, including you, in front of me, in order to try to manipulate your preoccupation with children. I just hope it doesn't happen, right? I really hope you do not get your political assassination hedge met on August 4th. I hope I just crushed it right now. I hope it got busted. It's 5:30 p.m. on August 1st, 2020. I'm not even halfway through the weekend.